This is Stella Modern Italian Cuisine. We are in the heart of Midtown, Oklahoma City. And as you can see right now, our dining room looks very different than it normally does. Spent my Easter inside the restaurant cooking, which usually every Easter we're super busy on a Easter brunch, Sunday brunch with lots of families. And that's the difference right now. It's just not having that interaction with our guests.
Well, St. Luke's actually oversees the Meals on Wheels program. It really was started off as about 58 different churches and organizations that would all prepare meals, and then you had the names of all these different senior adults who were shut in, and so everybody would kind of take a different day or a different route, and some might prepare a few meals, some might prepare 100 or more. And so it's an organization that's been going on for more than 30 years. One of the fascinating things is that right now what started to happen with the COVID virus is that there's a whole lot of churches that it was older volunteers, because that's all volunteers. And churches were no longer meeting on Sunday mornings, as we all know, and a lot of these older volunteers said, we're not going to come down and cook, and we can't deliver the routes. And so what started to happen was, as the administrator, we weren't going to let those people just miss their meals and not take place, so we've been picking up the slack as the people to be in charge of, to make sure that no one is going to miss a meal, and all routes will continue to be covered.
St. Luke's is my church home. They had called earlier in the week and had just asked how I was doing, if I needed any prayers or a special request. And that was a great phone call. But then the phone call from Bob was about a partnership possibility with OG&E, which was incredibly generous of OG&E to want to help small restaurants and to help some people that need food. Date ended up being this morning, Monday morning, and so we were here all day long making 50 lasagnas. So myself and 3 cooks, and I reminded them that it was going to be Easter to give them the option if they wanted to work or have the day off. And all 3 of them, I certainly did not get a no. Right now it is they want every possible hour they can get. I thought we'd be here until maybe 1 or 1:30. No, we were here until 5 o'clock.
I certainly appreciate it.
The gentleman in this house is in need of some help, and he's been a really fun guy to bring food to.
It's been a delight.
He talks a lot and wants to have a little conversation.
Okay.
I'm hanging in there.
Okay, good.
There's a lot of anxiety,
Yeah,
I try to help my friends like I can, but me, I'd rather have an audience than a conversation.
He's, I think, in the house a lot by himself and convalescing. He's been around in Oklahoma City for a long time and been helpful for other people, and now it's his turn to receive some help, and we're happy to do it.
And being a large church, we put out the call for volunteers, and people have stepped forward, and we've been putting into place all the social distancing and what do you need to do to be really careful, and typically the people are going to be younger, and a lot of them are working from home and necessarily having time, and so people have stepped up. The need has also jumped. We used to have over 500 families that we were taking care of 5 days a week, and it's now jumped to over 800, and we know it'll soon probably be at 1,000, just for the shut-in seniors that need to be taken care of.
Well, we've only been doing it now for 3 weeks. We started when all of the shutdown happened with the virus.
They needed extra help because the needs have just increased.
And we're both attorneys, and the courthouse is closed, and we have time on our hands, so we've signed up usually 3 days a week. This week we're doing all 5 days.
And so you're finding lots of moms and dads out of work, and suddenly families find themselves in a very difficult way through no fault of their own, and it's all happening so quickly, and the need is just huge.
This route is people who've never had Meals on Wheels before. They're either recently, maybe they're ill, or they've lost their jobs because of the economic downturn, and they just need some help, and helping is the right thing to do.
Well, and I mean, what else do you do during this period of time? I mean, we either sit in our house or we go out and try to do something positive.
We're on the fourth jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, yeah. So it really, we look forward to it every day. I mean, we've gotten to know the people on the route, and they've become, they know us. I wouldn't say they've become friends, but they're always happy to see us, which is a nice feeling. So it's always good to give back.
So in the meantime, the other thing that started happening in terms of need is that with all these restaurants that were shutting down, you think of how many restaurant workers were suddenly out of work. Well, it's just a cascading effect on all the different kinds of companies that are no longer getting to work. And so, the unemployment has just jumped in ways that has truly never been seen before. To go from 1,500 applications a week for unemployment in the state of Oklahoma to 130,000 in a week. I mean, the shock that is going through our economy at this moment is just huge.
St. Luke's and OG&E did a great idea with, they're helping restaurants stay in business, helping us to provide jobs for people, and then the food that is going to some elderly people, some people that just don't have the money right now to go to the grocery store, that they're going to be delivering those meals to. But then they're also going to be having a food truck once a week in the parking lot at St. Luke's that's going to be available to, I think, to really anyone, but it's really targeted towards people in the hospitality industry.
Again, we've been trying to deal with that through Meals on Wheels and ending Hunger OKC, which is kind of our overall umbrella that takes care of all this. And when OG&E approached us and said, we have this wonderful idea, we'd love to be able to invest in some restaurants and maybe help some restaurants keep their workers on and also have enough to be able to stay open, and then take the food they're making and give it to the hungry, and said, could you administer all that and help to make that happen? And so we were honored to really get to partner with them to do that.
They're scared.
Yeah, that's mostly it.
They're really,
And
really scared.
Very grateful. I mean, one gentleman in a neighborhood that is certainly past its prime has said that he wanted to know how to give a donation for this, and I thought, wow, that's pretty amazing that he was willing to donate money in exchange, with the help that he was getting. Everybody's very appreciative, but you'd be very surprised where some of the houses in some of the neighborhoods are. Some of the nicest neighborhoods in town are on our route also.
It's just people in need. For some of these people, it's their only meal of the day. And there was one gentleman that told us that he gave his food to his puppy because he was out of puppy food. And so there's just so much need out there.
It's going to be interesting when this is over and we're allowed to reopen, to see who actually can reopen their doors. A lot of small businesses only kind of run like some of our employees, where it is paycheck to paycheck. Some small restaurants actually, are waiting for the revenue to come in before they're able to make that next purchase.
And we're finding that, again, the need is so great that we're able to disperse all of the food easily. And what we really want to do is encourage other businesses to think about maybe doing the same kind of thing, because it will really bless so many restaurants, so many people who want to work, as well as people who are in need.